Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session. We keep working on opening lungs and the heart, and we'll start with a little bit of breathing that it's actually an exercise that is used in yoga and in pranayama practices to expand breathing capacity and access the lungs a little different, okay? So it's also, of course, any pranayama practices or any breathing practice, it's also a really good way, a tool that we use to slow down the nervous system and to help us find more ease in general. So find a seat that is comfortable. Let your base feel supported. Maybe it's a block, maybe it's a cushion, maybe you are choosing a chair today, maybe you need to go against the wall or anything like that. Maybe it's just padding your legs or your knees or whatever else needed. Then find the place where your palms are resting. Do a gentle roll of your shoulders, front, up, back and down, creating a little bit more of the sensation of expanding at the very top of the chest, maybe even above the collarbones. And then check in, get an internal visual of your own body, the position you're in. Notice as you sense how you feel in this seat, if you need to do any adjustments or changes. And then slowly, gradually, allow for the pelvic bowl to surrender into your support, down into the leg bones, and connecting each time that you exhale more and more with the earth. Your base gives you a chance to elongate the spine, to create expansion at the top of the chest, at the center of your lungs. And as we sit in this first moment of the practice, we also check in with the thoughts, the physical sensations arising, the energy that you're bringing today to the practice, how you feel in general. And this is part of the check-in. We are gathering information to use it in our practice as a way to support ourselves, to support our well-being. Whenever you feel settled, we'll start an exercise where we are going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And we are going to try and build up, let's say, in a way, in this breath. So first we are going to take a full, just to explain a little, we'll take a full breath in through the nose, a full exhale through the nose. We'll do that a couple of times. And then from there, I'm going to say, okay, now breathe up to 40% of your capacity. Then we're going to pause. Then we'll add up to 60. Then we'll pause. Then we'll add a little more, right? And that's why I said like we are building up towards the top. And then we'll release the whole thing, okay? And we'll repeat that a few times. Okay, so let's officially start. First, 2 breathing cycles, Ujjayi breath with no stops or no pauses. Okay, and now let's go. We are going to inhale and see if you can fill up only 20%. So it's just a little bit like a nice short breath in. You hold it. Then you go a little more up to 40. And now a little more, up to 60. A little more, up to 80. And last one, all the way up. Hold it. And then a soft exhale. We'll repeat the same thing. Let's see if we can more or less, right? It may not be exact, but we are training ourselves. We breathe in for 20. We pause. Another 20. And we pause. Another 20. We are at 60. Another 20 for 80%. And then 20 more. Feel yourself completely full, no more space. And then we release everything until you feel completely empty. Let's go again. When you're ready, you breathe in 20% and pause. Another 20. Of course, I'm just guiding, right? Don't rush. And then pause. Another 20. And pause. Another 20. We are at 80. And the last one all the way up. And then we release. Okay, now let's go one more. I'm not going to count. You do it on your own. And you more or less, right, mentally measure. When you're ready, go for it. I will just say that when you finish this last cycle, you'll go back to natural breathing whenever that moment comes. And just notice your breath, your mind, your body. Keeping the spine tall, the chest expanded, the crown of the head moving up towards the skies. We invite the palms to come together into the heart center. Taking a moment, invite an intention that will carry you through the practice today. And as you commit to that intention, an invitation to connect head, hands, and heart together at the center into that place where our truth lives. And maybe you decide to dedicate your practice to offer it to someone so you can plant your seeds of yoga out in the world. Releasing the palms whenever you feel ready. We lift the head, we open the eyes. Welcome again. Thank you for being here. Okay, so today we're going to start standing. I'm just taking off my socks because it's cold here, as usual. But we're going to start standing, and some of the things that we're going to do, they're going to feel pretty like alignment thing because they are useful for the practice that we are doing. So come to standing position with the feet hip width apart. Look at the feet, make them parallel. Just gonna, no, I think I'm centered. Okay, and just give yourself a moment here to bring your hands to your knees and bend the knees a couple of times just to start oiling the joints. And if you want, then of course you can do a little bit of circling there. Yeah, good. A few times one way, a few times the other way. Good. Notice any clicking sounds or sensations that arise, sometimes a little bit of pulling or tension there. Good. And then I'm going to come up. I keep the knees soft. Well, I don't know if you can see, but my knees are bent. And now I'm going to play a little bit with going onto my toes, and going into the heels, a little bit of swinging, just to also feel the sensations in the toes and spread a little more. Good. Excellent. You can also tighten a little bit more the knees and come towards like towards the toes and standing tall, like heels up and then toes up. Good. And then hands to hips, and let's do a little bit of circling here, the pelvis moving so the fluids also get going. A few times one way, a few times the other way. Good. And then I'm going to add also a little bit of arm circling, inhaling. You can bend the knees and go up, far back and down. Another one, I'm doing 3 and 3, meaning switching the direction, right, that I started. And then shaking a little. Okay, in order for you to see me better, I'm going to take this out because the next one is with some arm stuff going on. Okay, so from here, what we are going to do is that keeping this position of the feet hip width apart, and now we are starting to tone the legs a little more, firm the glutes, we're going to send the right arm up. So we start with the right arm up. We are going to stretch it as much as we can. The idea here is that I'm using these, of course, to also start stretching the sides of the trunk, right? The side of the trunk. So I'm going to send that arm as far up as I can. Then with the left hand, we are going to grab the wrist, and we're going to pull it even higher up. Okay, so I'm really concentrating on the right side. We are pushing into the right heel, feel the center of the heel pressing down and spread the toes. Pull that side up, inhale, exhale. Okay, now listen carefully. We are going to try and keep that right arm as tall, as high as you made it. But I'm going to change the position of the left hand, okay? But the right arm stays as much as possible as it is, okay? So I'm keeping that right arm as it is. And then with the left hand, what I'm doing is that I'm grabbing the outside of my upper arm and turning the arm back. So I'm doing like a rotation that the inside of my arm is going back more, okay? So keep that and sense it and feel it in your body, right? So I'm doing like a squeeze, right, of that upper arm, bicep, tricep, and taking it towards my right ear, let's say. And then keep stretching that right arm up again. Good. Now you feel the sensation of your left hand turning. Keep that sensation and then release that left arm. And reach up a little more with that right arm. And try to keep that rotation right now without touching. Good. And then turn the palm out and release the arm down and shake it. Good. Awesome. Okay, second side. We firm the left side of the body now a little more so we can inhale and send that left arm up and feel that stretch in the left side. So we reach up, even if you go a little further, right? Like with the left side and the right one. And then right hand is going to catch the wrist and pull it even higher. Good. Now, once you do that, notice if you're overarching in your lower back. So lengthen the tailbone down, lifting the belly in, press into the left heel, toning that left leg, and pull a little higher. Beautiful. Okay, sense that. Take one inhalation and one exhale. Now you know what's coming, right? We're going to try and keep that left side really tall. The arm is the same, but now my right hand is going to go outside the left upper arm so I can rotate it in. It's like I want to bring it closer to my left ear, let's say, okay? So I'm keeping that and I still stretch the left arm up. Good. Hold it and sense it for a breath. Good. And then release the right arm down. Keep stretching one more time, left arm, with that rotation that you did. And now instead of taking that left arm down, we're going to pair it with the right one. So now I'm sending the right one up again. Now create that rotation that you did with your hands again and reach up, like if you were doing it, right? But now we need two more hands that we don't have. But do that rotation on your own and pull those finger pads up towards the ceiling or the skies. Beautiful. Belly button in, tailbone down. Good job. One more breath. Then turn the palms out and bring the arms to the sides and shake it a little. Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to do another one that it's kind of similar but not the same. We're grabbing the blocks and we're going to use a little bit of a wall. It's not for a long time, but a couple of things I want to do that are really useful also for, like I've been saying, chest and upper back. So I'm going to show it here. I'm holding both my blocks the long way because I'm going to be placing my hands on top like this, but at the wall. So I'm going to say it's something like 20 inches maybe away from the wall. Like half a meter, I'm going to say, if you know that. And then I'm going to bring my arms up and I'm going to press my palms into my blocks. My blocks are going to be shoulder distance apart. And I'm going to push the blocks, of course, into the wall, okay? So when I go there, what I'm going to try and do is not only press up to elevate my shoulder blades, but I'm also going to try and drop the chest towards the wall. I don't really care if the chest doesn't touch. Mine is not touching. But what we are doing is trying to bring the chest towards the wall and maybe even your forehead to the wall. Okay, and this is actually a really nice technique to open your armpits. And the armpits are related to a lot of lymph nodes and blood flowing in the top of your chest, going into your lungs. The upper back is more contracted, which means that we are activating it more, okay? One more breath there. Good, and then push your hands into the blocks to bring yourself more towards the standing position away from the wall, and then you bring the blocks down. Okay, awesome, super. One more thing that I want us to do with the block, and then we move on the mat like regularly, okay? So if you want to stay there or close to where you are, I'm gonna change it because now instead of using high wall, I'm gonna use low wall. And what I'm going to do is to put the same position, right? Like the long side for the hands, but I'm going to put it at the baseboard. I'm coming here because for me, it holds better than on the other side. And again, I'm using the distance of the shoulders. So it's shoulder distance apart, right? Like when I want to go into a downward facing dog, because that's what we are going to do. And because they are slanted, right? I hope you can see them. They are in a diagonal, pressing into my baseboard in this case. What I'm going to be doing is to press down into the blocks, right? Into the baseboard, meaning that I'm sure that they are not going to fall, right? So you can put your mat if you want. My mat is kind of holding them as well. Of course, if you don't need the mat, you don't put it. Okay, so once I did the positioning of the blocks, from the hands being on the blocks, it's from where I'm going to construct my down dog. So I'm going to put the hands there, and then I'm going to start walking myself back. And you're possibly going to feel like your feet are easily coming to the floor, right? Because we have elevation in the hands. This is actually a good way also to protect the wrists and to give them a little bit less work than when we are in the regular down dog. When you get there, push the blocks down and away, pedal the feet a few times if you need, of course, like we usually do in down dog. And you can even press your chest a little bit into your legs, right? Like to feel that sensation of opening the front of the chest a little more and contracting the upper back. Good. And whatever you're doing, you want me to show it again? So I'm pressing and I'm going into the shape. Maybe the blocks are moving, right? If they are foam, they may be a little unstable. So if that doesn't work, you can just put the blocks flat on the floor, right? And then just put the hands on top. It's also a good way to do it. And it's actually another technique that we use many times, Amy. So you could do, if you wanted, like this. You just make them push into the wall. I don't know if that's like the case. Of like what was happening. Yeah, but that's actually another way to do it. Perfect. So now wherever you are like there, like whichever one you're using, the idea is to try and lengthen your heels back, to tighten your shins like we do with the mountain pose technique, right? So shins up, kneecaps lifting, thighs are moving towards your bones, your front ribs are moving in a little so we don't overdo it there, and then drop the head. Take another breath and then we'll release this and we'll go onto the mat. Good. If you want from there, you can bring your knees down and sit back for a moment. or just to walk towards the blocks and rest a second there. Okay, I'm going to remove the blocks for now. And then you can ask me any questions, huh? It's all good. And then we're going to go into a regular downward facing dog now without the blocks. And we're going to move a little to create also the connection with the breath. And then I'm going to add the stuff that we are doing today. So coming into a tabletop position, if you feel like you need a little bit of movement here before going there, you can absolutely do a little bit of zigzagging or circling, moving the pelvis, maybe a little bit of cow-cat. Give yourself a moment to notice or just follow what your body's asking for. If you need a little bit of, like extra stretching. Good, and then when you feel ready, you're going to organize the hands and move the knees in the way that it helps you to come into the down dog without the blocks, right? So now it's more of your regular distance and your regular position. And again, we tighten through the arms. And remember what we did when we were standing and I said, hold with your hand and rotate the arm. Okay, so can you do that here again? So those arms are super extended, and it's almost like if with the opposite hand, you're turning or rotating, right, that upper arm, like we did before when we were standing. So that was a little trick. Okay, then from there, when your next inhalation comes, we're going to take plank pose. Good, stay there for a moment. So you tone the legs, push through the heels, lengthen through the heart. Good job, and the crown of the head. Yes, Amy, good job. And then we come all the way down. You can use your knees, chest chin, or knees down, and you come onto your belly. The first one will be a sphinx. So we press the elbows down. We bring the forearms in front. Inhale, feel the shoulder blades moving into one another, lifting the heart. Exhale, release. Hands under the shoulders. We tuck the toes and we go to down dog. 3 breaths in down dog. Long, swift, steady breath. It's almost like water, very fluid, no end, no beginning. And then we bend the knees, hollow the belly, look forward, and maybe you prefer to walk than jumping, hopping, stepping, your choice, to come to the top of the mat and take a standing forward fold. Let the head drop, the knees are soft. Then we inhale halfway, lifting chest. Exhaling, dropping again. Pressing through the heels, we come all the way up. And find again, standing posture with the hands coming to the heart. Good job. We release that and we'll add again, movement to add with the breath, okay? Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling to a fold. Inhaling halfway up. This time with the exhale, we send the left leg back into a lunging position. Firm the inner legs. Tone that back leg. It feels like you're doing a plank pose. Keep the left hand down. We're going to twist over to the right. Push through the left hand to open and expand the chest there. One inhalation. Exhale, release the right hand down. Good, scissor those legs and tone that back leg, don't let it drop, okay? And as you scissor the legs and the hips, we're gonna take a high crescent now. Good, lift the inner left leg up, okay? And now reach up with the arms like we did before when we were holding with the wrists, right? So reach, 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 belly button back, exhale to down dog. Inhaling, we move to plank. Exhaling, we bring it down. Good. Inhaling, we take a cobra. It can be gentle, tailbone in, opening the lungs like papers or in a book, pages in a book. Then we release and we go back to down dog. We inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, bring the knee towards the chest into a plank pose. Then bring the right foot forward in between the hands again. Good. Inhale, one high crescent, one more time, toning the legs. And exhale, bring the left foot forward, take a fold. Inhaling, halfway up. Exhale, release. Press through the feet, return to standing. Hands to the heart. One extra Ujjayi breath. And then we release the arms and we will take on the second side. I'm gonna switch. Let's go. Inhaling, arms up. Ardha Hastasana, reaching up. Exhaling to that fold, releasing the weight of the neck and the head. Inhaling, sides of the trunk lengthen, opening the heart center. We exhale and then we send the right leg back. You can always use the blocks, right, if you need them. Scissor the legs, plant your right hand down. You can always put a block there. We are twisting to the left. Bring the low side of your belly on the right towards the left side and push through that right hand to open a little more. Then bring the left hand down. Beautiful. Make sure that those legs are tight and squeezed so you can come up into a high crescent. Good job. Drop the tail, lift, and reach those arms up like if you were holding the wrists and pulling them up. Exhale to down dog. Good. Inhaling to plank. Take your time, okay? Go with your breath. Exhale all the way down. Planting those toes, like flickering them down into the mat and the tailbone in. We inhale into another cobra. Good. We exhale to down dog. Second side, left leg goes up and back. Try and keep the hips square if you can, bringing the belly button in. Bend that left knee, bring it to the chest. Then bring the left foot forward. Lunging, toning the legs. One last time, we inhale, arms up. High crescent. And we exhale to return to standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhaling. Keep the knees soft, send the outer shoulders back, exhale. Feet heavy, we rise up to Ardha Hastasana. And we meet ourselves back at the center. Close your eyes for a moment. If they are not, visit your intention for today. Take notice of your breath. Your body in space, and give yourself 1 or 2 extra breaths to slow down. And release the arms, shake it a little. Okay, for the next part, instead of going from a vinyasa, I'm going to go from just standing on the mat. And I'm going to use the blocks. I'm going to use the length of the mat. I'm going to have one block on the right side. I'm going to call it the right side because I'm facing this way, right? So the right side of the mat will have a block in case I need it. My left hand will be holding a second block that I'm going to use as a weight, okay? Even if it's not super heavy, the block that you have, it's going to help us because it's meant to help us open up, okay? So I'm going to send my legs into my usual wide leg position with the feet parallel. And as I'm holding my block, and for now here, I'm going to push into the right heel to turn the right leg out to the right and then put the foot down. Good. Tone the legs, okay, and firm the glutes. Then the left foot, if you want, you can push also into the heel, lift it a little and turn the foot into the right, towards the right as well. We are preparing for a triangle, okay? So what I'm doing is prepare the shape of the triangle. Remember that for the triangle, just a reminder, we don't want to turn the the pelvis towards the front leg, but it stays sideways, right? Like when we do a warrior two as well. So we are pushing firmly through the legs, we are firming the glutes, and we want to make sure that the front hip, I'm showing because I'm a good example, I can see it in the camera, that the front hip turns to drop. Now I'm exaggerating and I'm taking it lower than what it was, but you see how we usually do this, which is what we do when we are standing in the checkout line of the supermarket. So what we want to do is to lift that side so it's level with the second side, which is the left, okay? So notice if your pelvis feels like it's tilted, then lift that right side, which is the usual one that drops. Okay, you're gonna keep that. The block is on the left hand. And for now, we are going to inhale and extend the arms out, even though I know there is a block on one of the hands. Okay, now reach out, reach up through the crown of the head and drop the tailbone, bringing your navel back. Okay, and now the game that we're going to play is that right side, of course, we're going to take it to the triangle. You're going to choose if you want to use your shin or your block, but we are going to lengthen the spine, look to the right, lengthen, 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 lengthen over your right leg, and then you bring that right hand either to the shin or the tall block, the one that you want. The left arm goes up and you're holding the block. Beautiful. If this way of holding the block feels like it's very unstable, you can, of course, change it and do like this, right? I don't mind. Okay, so then from there, we are going to make sure that we move the shoulders away from the neck. So move them down. Yes, good. It's like we are rolling them down and back, right? We are pushing that the block, I'm going to call it the left block, up towards the skies. And that right hand is helping us push into that first block or the shin to turn the chest a little bit more towards the skies. Yes, good job. Now the right side of your torso will tend to close in. So try and lengthen that underside in the trunk. Good, and keep pushing the block up. And you don't need to look up because sometimes the neck feels funky. You can look down. Press firmly through the legs and see if you can now, I'm adding something new, if you can send that block that it's up there with you a little further back. Like if you want to touch the wall you have behind you with the block. You don't have to, right? But it's just like a way to create more opening in that left shoulder, more opening in the left side of that lung and the heart, and then bring the left shoulder blade more into the back of your body. Good, good, good. Okay, now we are going to push through the feet so we can come up. Strong. Good. Exhale, release, change. And before you change, bring that block that you have on the right. If you want, you put it over to the left. So we have it there. And now we're going to turn the right leg in and the left leg out. Beautiful. Okay, look at that. Naturally, before I do anything, my left hip already went down. So once I set up my triangle shape, I'm going to lift that left side. Yeah, good. Then dropping the tailbone, we help like our glutes also become more tight and more active. We lift through the low abdomen and we send the navel back. Okay, that's what we want. The legs are super steady and we send the arms out. Good. Okay, now let the arms go really wide out, meaning that I want the upper back to feel also broad. We are not squeezing in the back, okay? But soften the shoulders. Good. Okay, now I'm going to look at the left side. Keep the hips tight. And you're going to go as far as you can to the left. Let's go. Over that left leg, right? And then you either touch your shin or your block and you send the right arm up. Of course, I'm trying to push that block, but when I get there, the first thing that I do is to roll the shoulders away from my earlobes, then to bring my belly button backwards and to drop the tail. Good, keep firming the glutes. Now remember that I said that underside tends to become short, so see if you can lengthen it a little, maybe by bringing the top side more towards the hip. And then we're going to keep pushing that block up and then maybe sending it a little further back to open that shoulder a little more. Beautiful. Keep tucking your tailbone because the lower back, if not, will want to arch, okay? Super. Push up and back with that right arm. Keep moving the left shoulder away from your neck. Another breath. Good. Use your core, press through the legs, come up. Good. Exhale, release. Bring that left foot in and then heel toe the feet until you come back to the top. Shake it a little. You can remove that block that you had on your hand. Good. And just here, standing feet together this time, we are going to inhale, send arms up. Exhale to a fold, just a half salutation. Inhaling, half lift, press through the heels. Open the heart. Good. Exhale, release. Press through the feet. Let's come back up. And back to center. Good. Beautiful. Release. Okay, I'm going to add one more little thing where we are going to use the blocks. I'm going to go to the side. So now keep the blocks at the top of your mat. Okay. Good. Here we go. We inhale, arms up overhead. You can skip the vinyasa, Amy, if you don't want it, okay? Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling to plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. So you're going to choose if you want to do it or if you want to go straight to down dog or stay standing until we move to the shape that I'm going to say, okay? Using the balls of your feet, lift the heels over the toes. If you're in down dog, push the hip creases up and back, front ribs in, right leg goes up and back. Bending the right knee, we are going to do that opening that we like to do for the hip. So you can take that right knee and hip over to the left, then level the shoulders, push the floor away. You can move the right foot if you want. And then we return with that right leg up and back, right foot forward. Okay, now listen carefully because we are going to be using a block. So bring a block close by so you can grab it with your hand and you have it close by because I'm going to tell you in a second what we do. The left foot, we are going to turn the heel to the right and down. We are preparing for a warrior two. Okay, but when you come to the warrior two, I want you to come with one block on one hand because we're going to use it. Okay, so come up. We have a block. Awesome. So first, let's set up the legs. Push through that right knee. The right knee goes towards your pinky. Drop the tailbone. Lift that inner left thigh so it's not collapsing. And the same actions as we usually do. Drop the tailbone. Lift through the abdomen. Don't let the right hip drop a lot. Bring it up, but bend the front knee. Beautiful. I still have my block. I'm holding now the two short sides of the block because we're going to keep working in opening the chest. So now we're going to push the block up over the head. Okay, good. Remember, front knee towards the pinky, drop the tail, reach up, like push that block towards the skies. Good. Inhale here. Exhale. Good. Okay, now we are going to take the block down. So just set it down for a moment. We come to a regular warrior two. Good. Turn the right palm. Let's reverse that warrior. Drop the tail. Good. Windmill the arms so you can touch down and go to down dog. Another breath there before we switch sides. Okay, we lift the heels over the toes. We push the hips up and back. Firm the arms as you push through the hands. Let's send the left leg up and back. Bend the left knee, opening the hips to the right. You can play with that left foot, level the shoulders, drop the head. Re-extend the left leg up and back and bring the left foot forward. Good. Lunging position. We turn the right heel to the left and we set that right foot completely down for a warrior two. Once you have the leg steady, grab a block and bring it with you. Good job. Okay, lengthen through that left inner thigh. Inner knee goes towards your pinky, drop your tail, lift the abdomen. Good, feel your torso long and then you push the block up to the skies. Good. Nice. Push, extend the arms. Keep bringing the navel back. Breathe. Lengthen that inner left thigh. Good, good, good. Then open the arms, release that block if you can let it like drop or touch down. Good. Warrior two, arms again. Good. And now we turn the left palm to face up and reverse the warrior. Windmill the arms, touch down, back to down dog. And we're going to take a child's pose from here. Bring yourself down, widen the knees. Bring the sitting bones back. We take 3 breaths. We are not doing that building of the breath, right? Like we did in the beginning, but we do want to use that idea as bringing more of an opportunity to expand capacity, right? So try and do soft breath all the way up to the top and fluid, never-ending breath all the way out to empty. With that fluidity, like the one in the ocean, right? There's no limit, right? We don't see it. It ends and it starts and it keeps going. Then we slowly press up towards a seat. We are going to cross the shins perhaps, or just transition our legs towards the front of the mat. Good. Wiggle a little. Nice. We are going to sit tall. We bend the right knee. And if possible, you're going to cross that right foot over to the left. If it doesn't go all the way, it doesn't go all the way. Keep the left leg extended and pressing down. So it's active and you're pushing through the heel and the ball of your foot. Good. We are going to bring that left arm to wrap the right leg. So we can twist over to the right. Right arm goes behind. Hold that leg towards you and pull it a little bit away from you. It's like if you want to pull the right leg towards your left foot. And then reach up from the sitting bones to your head, right? Like from your base all the way to the crown of the head, make yourself tall. And then turn the chest over to your right. Right shoulder blade moves into the back of your chest. And you can turn the head over to the right as well. If your neck doesn't feel good, you keep the head in neutral, right? Inhale, return to center. Exhale, bring that right leg back to the right, extend it, wiggle a little. Good, let's go with the second side. Left knee bending. And if possible, you cross the left foot over to the right. We are sitting tall. Okay, the right arm is the one wrapping the left leg. I'm actually trying to bring my low belly in so I make more space to cross it over to the left. The left arm goes back. And then not only that I'm pressing the leg, usually we press it towards us, but I want to kind of like pull it a little bit away from me towards my right foot. Remember, the right leg is heavy and you're pushing through the heel and the ball of your foot. So I'm doing that, pulling a little bit away from me, turning the belly, softening the shoulders, and then maybe you turn the head as well. Chin of the chest. Third inhale, we return. Exhaling there at the center, release that left leg and wiggle. Good job. Super. And then we come onto our backs. We hug the knees and rock a little bit side to side. Okay, one optional bridge pose here. You can do it with a block or you can do it without any support if you don't want. So we were opening chest and we were working also the legs to be able to open more the front, right? So if you want, pressing the feet down with hip distance, I usually like it a little wider. We are toning the legs and the back body so we can lift up, right? And if you're using the block, then you don't need to do all of the actions of the lifting, right? But you put it under the sacrum. So shoulder blades into one another, moving the shoulders a tiny bit down. And then with the elbows or the hands, using, of course, the power of the feet as well. When you're ready, lift off, tailbone in, glutes steady. Maybe you're interlacing fingers behind the lower back and pulling those arms towards your heels and pressing down. Press with the back of your skull into the floor. Breathe. Building resilience. Softening the face if you can. And then when you feel like you are ready to bring it down, make it gradual, slow motion, all the way to the end or touching down. And then a little bit of windshield wipers with the legs. Good. We are coming towards the end. We are going to take the soles of the feet together, letting the knees drop to the sides. It feels like doing a diamond shape. You can bring one hand to your belly, abdomen, and one to the heart center. Just settle there. Another good moment to visualize your intention. Revisiting the way we want to feel. And maybe we can use that intention after the practice of the mat. Where we are at the right time to transition from here into Savasana. So you can use your hands to bring the legs back towards one another and extend the legs. And then drop the feet, the legs to the sides a little and release the arms. If you are usually adding some support of any kind, like a blanket, eye pillow, or anything else, you're more than welcome to add that. And we'll give ourselves a short little while to release, reset, let go of controlling, no more activity, letting the physical body rest. And also letting the mind and the heart receive the benefit of the practice.